There are words that awaken the soul, and then there are words that make someone see you, as if for the first time, not because of how you look or what you own, but because of something far more rare, something eternal. Today, you will discover a phrase rooted in ancient Stoic wisdom that, when spoken with presence, can make any woman stop, feel, and listen, not because it's a trick, but because it's a truth so raw and uncommon. It pierces through the noise of the world. Before we go on, answer this in the comments. What's one thing you wish more people truly understood about you? Take a moment, type it out. Someone out there might feel the same. And if you've ever wanted to carry a quiet power, the kind that doesn't shout but is felt, then like this video now, because what you're about to hear can change how you're seen, and more importantly, how you see yourself. There's a secret buried in time, hidden beneath centuries of distraction, that the Stoics whispered to themselves, not to seduce, but to reveal. This secret wasn't wrapped in charm or flattery. It had no sparkle, no rehearsed smile. It was quiet, gentle, utterly disarming. And for those who understood its depth, it changed everything. Not just in romance, but in presence, in trust, in connection. You see, true attraction isn't about trying to impress. It's about being so aligned with your inner world that others feel safe enough to lower their guard. There is a phrase, a sacred combination of honesty, vulnerability, and strength, that creates this shift instantly. It doesn't promise love, but it invites truth. And in a world starved for sincerity, that's what no one can resist. This video is not a dating hack. It is not a trick to manipulate. It's a revelation, a journey into the soul of Stoicism, where power doesn't come from dominance, but from mastery of the self, from understanding what it means to speak with intention, to listen without fear, to live without the need to chase validation. We will journey back through ancient philosophies, decode forgotten principles of connection, and unveil the sacred phrase, the one that, when spoken in presence, feels like a mirror to the soul. Stay with me, because by the end, you will not only know what to say, you will know who you are when you say it. There are words that awaken the soul, and then there are words that make someone see you, as if for the first time, not because of how you look or what you own, but because of something far more rare, something eternal. Today, you will discover a phrase rooted in ancient Stoic wisdom that, when spoken with presence, can make any woman stop, feel, and listen, not because it's a trick, but because it's a truth so raw and uncommon. It pierces through the noise of the world. Before we go on, answer this in the comments. What's one thing you wish more people truly understood about you? Take a moment, type it out. Someone out there might feel the same. And if you've ever wanted to carry a quiet power, the kind that doesn't shout but is felt, then like this video now, because what you're about to hear can change how you're seen, and more importantly, how you see yourself. There's a secret buried in time, hidden beneath centuries of distraction, that the Stoics whispered to themselves, not to seduce, but to reveal. This secret wasn't wrapped in charm or flattery. It had no sparkle, no rehearsed smile. It was quiet, gentle, utterly disarming. And for those who understood its depth, it changed everything, not just in romance, but in presence, in trust, in connection. You see, true attraction isn't about trying to impress. It's about being so aligned with your inner world that others feel safe enough to lower their guard. There is a phrase, a sacred combination of honesty, vulnerability, and strength that creates this shift instantly. It doesn't promise love, but it invites truth. And in a world starved for sincerity, that's what no one can resist. This video is not a dating hack. It is not a trick to manipulate. It's a revelation, a journey into the soul of Stoicism, where power doesn't come from dominance, but from mastery of the self, from understanding what it means to speak with intention, to listen without fear, to live without the need to chase validation. We will journey back through ancient philosophies, decode forgotten principles of connection, and unveil the sacred phrase, the one that, when spoken in presence, feels like a mirror to the soul. Stay with me, because by the end, you will not only know what to say. Let us now uncover the phrase. But before the phrase can live in your mouth, it must first live in your being. Because if spoken without presence, it becomes hollow, just another set of syllables lost in a sea of noise. But when spoken from a place of true alignment, it cuts through illusion like a blade through silk. The phrase is simple, but do not be deceived by its simplicity. Simplicity, in the ancient world, was sacred. The gods, the sages, the mystics, they all spoke in riddles not to confuse, but to awaken. And the Stoics, too, favored brevity. Because the truth doesn't need decoration, it only needs space. Here it is. You don't have to be anyone else. I see you as you are. Now pause. Let those words settle. You don't have to be anyone else. In a world where everyone is performing, chasing some image, some version of who they think they should be, those words are a sanctuary. Most women and most people are not seen for who they are. They are seen through filters, judgments, projections. But to say and truly mean, I see you as you are, is to give someone the rarest gift, freedom. But you can't offer that freedom unless you are free. This is why the Stoic path matters. A Stoic does not need to possess others. He does not need control. His peace is internal. His value is not borrowed from others. It is remembered within. When you become a man who no longer measures himself by external standards, who doesn't chase approval, who doesn't crumble in rejection, then your presence becomes medicine. And when you speak a phrase like this, it isn't performative. It is an invitation, one that says, you're safe here. You can put the mask down. This is why Stoicism is the foundation, because to hold space for another person's truth, you must first hold your own. There is a reason Marcus Aurelius never begged for loyalty, why Epictetus, once a slave, became a teacher whose words echoed through time. They were not interested in winning people over. They were interested in becoming immovable. And in that stillness, people found themselves drawn to them. Not by force, but by resonance. Imagine saying that phrase, not as a line, but as a reflection of your state. You don't have to be anyone else. I see you as you are. The power isn't in the words. The power is in the silence around them, in the unspoken message. I am not afraid of your truth. I do not need to fix you. I simply see you. That, in today's chaotic and insecure world, is revolutionary. And here's where the Stoic paradox lives. The less you seek to be irresistible, the more you become it. Because presence is irresistible, integrity is magnetic, and calm is contagious. When you walk through life grounded, when your energy says, I belong to myself, then people, women especially, begin to lean in. Not because you are performing, but because you are anchored. And in a world of drifting ships, an anchor is not just attractive, it is irresistible. But here's where it gets deeper. more paradoxical, more powerful. Because that phrase, "You don't have to be anyone else, I see you as you are," is not a line you use on someone. It's a mirror you hold up, not just to another, but to yourself. And this is where the Stoic path begins to fracture the illusions we've built. You cannot offer what you have not cultivated. You cannot see someone if you have not first learned to see yourself without judgment, without shame, without distortion. The ancient Stoics knew this. What appears simple on the surface is often layered with great spiritual discipline underneath. It's not enough to sound calm. You must become calm. It's not enough to speak from a place of clarity. You must live in that clarity, especially when no one's watching. There's a quiet, ancient strength in that. The kind you don't advertise, the kind that simply is. So let us peel back the veil even further. When you say that phrase, it must emerge from a place where your identity is no longer chained to performance. A place where your emotions are acknowledged, but not obeyed. Where your worth is not fragile, not up for negotiation, not dependent on outcome. That's what Stoicism teaches, not to suppress desire, but to make desire a servant of truth. This is the difference between manipulation and magnetism. Manipulation tries to get something. Magnetism simply is. And because it is whole, people naturally gather around it. Consider this in a crowded room: who is the most noticed? Not the loudest, not the flashiest, but the one who radiates self-possession. The man who does not need the room, yet belongs fully in it. The one who speaks little, but when he does, every word feels earned. That is Stoicism in motion. That is presence in form. That is what the phrase rests upon. And this goes far beyond attraction. This touches how you move through the world, how you relate to conflict, how you sit with yourself in silence, how you carry your past, not as a wound, but as a weapon forged in fire. You will find that once you embody this state, everything changes. Not because you've become someone else, but because you've finally stopped trying to be. When you meet a woman, or anyone, really, from this place, something extraordinary happens. The conversation slows down. The energy softens. The masks fall, not by force, but by permission. They feel it, the safety, the authenticity, the rare sense that you are not here to take, you are here to witness, and that witnessing is what creates true intimacy. In ancient temples, initiates were taught not just rituals, but states of being. The phrase we've been exploring is not just verbal, it is vibrational. It reflects a man who has faced his own darkness and no longer fears another's. So speak it, but more importantly, live it. Let it saturate your tone, your breath, your stillness. You don't have to be anyone else. I see you, as you are. Say it when it's real. Say it only when your presence can hold it. Because when that moment comes, it won't feel like seduction. It will feel like truth, remembering itself. Now we enter the space where philosophy becomes flesh, where ancient wisdom breathes into the bones of modern life. Because it's one thing to understand a powerful idea. It's another to become it. So how do you live this phrase? How do you cultivate the presence and energy that gives it life? So that when you speak, the air around you shifts. We begin with the practice of stillness. Each morning, before the noise of the world comes rushing in, you must return to yourself. Sit in silence, breathe deeply. Place your attention not on what you want to get today, but on who you choose to be. Ask yourself, what does it mean to be a man who sees without needing? who speaks without seeking approval. This is not passive reflection. This is internal training. The Stoics did it daily. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in Rome, journaled before battle, before decisions, before the chaos of empire, not to escape, but to anchor. Start your day the same way. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, no distractions, just breath, awareness, and the question, can I be enough without reaching? Over time, this stillness carves something into your energy, a kind of invisible strength. You'll walk into rooms differently. You'll speak more slowly, more intentionally. You'll listen, not to reply, but to feel. This is how you begin to embody the phrase, not with performance, but with presence. Next, practice the art of seeing. We've been taught to evaluate others, rank them, measure them, label them. But to truly see someone is to look beyond the roles they play and into their humanness. Try this. The next time you speak to a woman, whether it's someone new or someone close, pause for just a moment before responding. Look into her eyes, not to impress, not to figure her out, but to be with her fully. And then listen, not to her words alone, but to what's beneath them. Fear, hope, wonder, doubt. If you can tune into this level of perception, you become rare. You become unforgettable, because so few ever feel seen. Now here's something even deeper. Apply that same gaze to yourself. Stand in front of a mirror, not to adjust, not to criticize, but to witness. Look into your own eyes and say the phrase, not as a gimmick, but as a challenge. You don't have to be anyone else. I see you as you are. Some of you will flinch. Some of you will look away. That's okay. That's where the real work begins. Because this isn't about becoming attractive to others. This is about becoming whole within yourself. And wholeness attracts naturally, without effort, without strategy. In practical life, this means shedding habits of performance. Don't exaggerate your stories to seem more interesting. Don't agree just to be liked. Don't apologize for your truth. Instead, bring your attention to your intention. Before you speak, ask, am I trying to prove, or am I trying to connect? Speak only when it's the latter. When you make this shift, women will notice, people will notice, because very few walk this path. Most are hungry to be chosen, but when you are no longer hungry, when you are centered, you become a presence that nourishes. Even in difficult conversations, especially in them, this presence holds. When she's angry or afraid or emotional, do not rush to fix her. Do not shrink. Stand in your breath. Let her know without words, you don't scare me, you're safe here. This is the deepest form of masculine energy, containment, not control, not dominance, but spacious strength. The kind that says, I see all of you, and I stay. This is not something you can fake. You earn this presence through practice, through failing, through returning, again and again. So begin today, one moment at a time, one breath at a time, one truth at a time. Because when you live like this, that phrase becomes more than words. It becomes your aura. And from that space, you will no longer need to be irresistible. You simply will be. And now we arrive at the end, but not an ending like the world gives you. Not a closing, not a farewell. This is a threshold, a doorway, because what you've just heard isn't a script to memorize. It's a key, and what it unlocks is something ancient inside you, something you may have forgotten. You see, the world will keep telling you that to be loved, you must become more, flashier, louder, smoother, that you must climb the social ladder, accumulate attention, win admiration, and wear 100 masks just to be noticed. But the Stoic path whispers something else, something more dangerous, more sacred. It says, you were never supposed to chase. You were supposed to remember that you are already whole, that you do not need to impress to be valuable, that your calm is more captivating than your charm, that your truth is more magnetic than any tactic, that your presence, your real, grounded, quiet presence, is a rare force in this noisy world. The phrase we've spoken about, you don't have to be anyone else. I see you as you are, is not a trick. It's a reflection of a deeper vow. I will be the kind of man who no longer hides from himself. And in that integrity, I become a mirror for others to do the same. When you live this way, relationships change, conversations deepen, the right people lean in, and those who don't, they fade, because your energy no longer feeds illusions. This is the path of the Stoic, not of coldness, but of clarity, not of indifference, but of unshakable love, the kind that is not needy, not clinging, but rooted like the olive tree, still standing through storms and silence. It is time now to reclaim what has always been yours, to speak not just words, but truths, to be not just seen, but remembered. And when you walk through the world with this energy, you won't need to say much. Your very presence will speak. It will whisper, you don't have to be anyone else. I see you as you are. And they will feel it, not just hear it. So take this with you. Breathe it in. Let it settle into your spine, your steps, your silence. Practice it. Live it. And when the time comes, speak it. Not as a line, but as a truth you've earned. If this awakens something within you, something ancient and quiet and powerful, then honor that feeling. Like this video so others can feel it too. And share in the comments. Stillness is the loudest language. Let's see who among us has truly heard the call. Until next time, stay grounded, stay true, and remember, the most irresistible thing you can be is yourself, seen clearly.